TD students, I greet you today. How are you all? We have talked about development in our last class, and I will say development is building on what has been on ground. That is drawing something out of a particular drawing that was already, or a block or a project or an object that's already been drawn. We looked at prison and pyramid development last week. It is continuation, we'll have nice continuation of your work, which is still development. Today we're looking at more examples. That is, we want to look at the first term of a cylinder, and then also look at a cone. That's what we want to look at today. I call it again, development is not new to you because we have looked at these things last week. We have looked at it last week. That is development. So we want to see how we can do a development of a frustum of cylinder and then cone. These are areas we are looking at today. We will not fail to share the objectives. These are just, even if I told you with my mouth, you still need to see what we need to achieve. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to draw the development of a frustum of the cylinder and then draw the development of a cone. These are things we want to look at. Okay. These ones we have for today, they are other examples added to what we have done before. They still mean development. We have procedures for this to draw the development of the frustum of the cylinder. These are the steps. We normally give you the steps and then we do the drawing. Divide the circumference of the plan into a number of equal parts, 1 to 12, and project these points to the section. The section is seen at this side or at this side. That's what we call the section. The left-handed person can project to this side. The right-handed person can project to this side. That's what we call the section. Project lines from the elevation to obtain the height. The height is done when I establish the horizontal line, then you now measure the height up. That's what I mean. Then mark unit 1 to 12. These ones are marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, T 12 on the section. That is the line you have drawn at this side. Then you draw lines from these points to intersect the above projection lines to obtain the curve. That is at point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, T 12. Project perpendiculars. The ones you projected to meet at the section were horizontal. So they will not have a meeting point. Line 1 meeting line 1, line 2 meeting line 2, line 3 meeting line 3, just as we'll be doing in the case of parabola and all. Let us look at what I mean. This is the circle drawn, divided into 12. You will not ask me, each angle here is equal to what? 30 degrees. Thank you very much. Because that's what we have. We have done division of circle in your previous terms. Then when you finish this, you will not mark up the horizontal line, establish it here. This is the horizontal line established here. After that, you use your set square, 90 angle here, and then the T-square lapping. You project perpendicular. That is, at this 12, take perpendicular. At 11, you take it up. At 10, you take it up. At 9, you take it up. At 8, you take it up. At 7, you take it up. Then at 6, you take it up. You have projected these lines up. This 6, the last point here, and the 12, the last point here, gives you the base here. That's the size of the base. Then you now mark the height of this cylinder here. Now we're dealing with cylinder here. Along the line of the 6, I used 4 cm. Then here I used 2 cm. Then you join the top together. That is the next thing we'll look at now. The height is marked there 4, and then this side is marked 2. You now join the 2 together. You have gotten the slope. Now, that's what I mean. The cylinder is produced. Then next thing is to project lines. From 1 here, you remember I called it slope because this is 0.0, the one that came from 12. The one that came from 11 is a little bit higher than the one that came from 12. The one that came from 10 is a little bit higher than the one that came, because it's a slope going up. It's ascending, the line is ascending or descending. So they are not equal, it's not really horizontal. And so from this 0 point, that is 0.12, you project a horizontal line. That is going to this side, and that's the section we're talking about. From 11, you take 1. From 12, 10, you take. We're using your T-square taking the horizontal line, make sure it is line. From 9 you take, that's middle. From 8, you also take the horizontal project. From 7, you project. Lastly, the top here, that's from point 6, you also project. When you have done that, you have this. Lines are projected now. Then here, you now mark out the circumference. You just put a dot here, then that's 0.0 also. Begin to divide this circumference now into 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You divide it. I use 1 cm now. So you divide them into 12 as the circumference of this circle is divided. That is giving you this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until the last point. 12 is the last, and then 0 here is the beginning. Next thing you need to do is to, from these points, you radiate perpendiculars. You see that I have 0.0 coming here, meeting 0.0 here. So you take 0.1 up, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 0.10, 0.11, and then lastly 12. You radiate them up. You just draw the perpendiculars. Where line 1 meet line 1, you dot it. Where line 2 of the perpendicular meet the horizontal line 2, you dot it. Where line 3 of the perpendicular meet horizontal line 3, you dot it until you get to the last point. That is the next thing you need to see here. That is what you're having here. These one are projected up now. They are being projected up. At each point, you see the projections here. They stop at the top here because you don't know the last side. So stop at the top here. After projecting them up, then you now do the dotting, I've said. Meeting points are dotted. This is where line 1 come in, meet this line 1 here, which is 11. This is line 0.0. This is 1 coming here, meeting this one. This is 2 going up. This is the second point. They meet here. This is 3 going up. 9 is the third point here. Line, they meet here. This 0.4. 8 will come to meet 0.4. That's the line, horizontal line 4. This horizontal line 5, which is 7. Horizontal line 6 is 6. Meeting vertical line 6, 6. That is the top. Then you also try to do it to this other side. Here becomes 12 becomes 0 this side. Then 11 is your line 1, meeting line 1. 11 is meeting 11 now. Then 10 is meeting 10 from this side. 9 is meeting line 9. Then line 8, vertical line or perpendicular line 8 is meeting line 8 coming. Then line 7, this one is meeting line 7 coming. Line 6 is meeting line 6. You have also done it to this side. These are the points you dotted. Then what instrument do you use to make this curve? The French curve. That is the last thing you need to do. You use the French curve to make it bold. This is the development. I've gone through those curves now, those points, make it bold. The cylinder is developed. This, please always do this work. While you watch, I've always told you. This is one of the examples. Cylinder is developed here. Then we go to the next example. This one is talking about cone development, to draw the development of a cone. 1, you remember we talked about pyramid cone. It has apex. It has apex, that's the top area. With apex and center of radius of the slant side, that is the line that goes down, you make a height. You draw an arc. That is the slant side makes the height. Then you draw an arc with your compass. Divide the circumference of the base into a number of equal parts, 1 to 12. After you have taken that arc, you divide it into 12. Step off unit 1 to along this arc. That's what I'll say then. You join 12 to the apex. The last point, you join it to the apex. Apex, that is of the cone, cylinder cone, pyramid cone, or whatever. Let me give you the drawing now. The last point, remember, that's point 12, is joined to the apex. This is the circle. You don't need to ask how you divide this circle. We are not to this, or we know all this now. Then you develop a horizontal here. I used 1 cm from here to here. That's point 10. The difference is that this was point 12 in the first one. They can name it. I started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one now is going on to get to 12. That is first stage. That horizontal line is developed. Then the next thing you need to do is this one is now a bit different from the first one. That one, from each point, we radiated perpendiculars. But now you take from the last year and the last year. That is from point 1 here and from point 7 here. Just take it here. Just take the perpendicular. That gives you the base here. That is what you need to do. You don't need to ask me how you get the base now. That gives you the base up there. So when you get the base here, it has not been made bold. From this point, middle here, from this point, this horizontal line, you turn your set square. Which angle do we use to get that apex? 60 degrees. You turn it from here. This angle is 60 degrees. Reject up. You also do it to this side. You reject it up. The apex is established. You get your apex. Then you make here bold. This triangle you are seeing here, you make it bold because you have gotten your apex. You make it bold. That is what you are saying. Make that side bold. Then last of the one of the steps that have been given to you. This is the apex now, A, and this is B. So from A to B, the height of the length of the slant side now. You use the radius. Put your compass here to here. Then you put it up here, and draw a curve to come and meet B here. That is, we have done something similar last week. Using that radius, you will now have a curve that is coming to come and meet. That is a circumference now. That circumference is established. Then this circumference, you will now divide it into 12. I use 1 cm to divide for the division. Because here was 2, please be taking note of my dimensions. You don't really need to be given the dimensions, but you need to, you can use your own. You can use two divisions here. The difference is that if you use half, where the circumference may end will be here. But if you use 1, it may go a bit longer. That's just the difference. But you definitely will have a curve. Even for the radius of the circle, except you have been told in the assignment or exam. Don't forget. So this circle now, you will not divide it. You not just, why do you do that? Just put a compass on any, you put it 1. Measure 1 on your ruler, then you cut until you get to the 12th point. That's all. It has been divided into 12. Then remember, the last thing said, join the point, the last one, that is point 12, join it to the apex. That is what we have done here. Then last thing, you just make this curve bold. That's all you need to do. That is, make that curve bold. You have gotten what you need. There's something you also need to know. These ones, 9.9, 10, 11, 12, depending on the paper I used, because there wasn't space here, you should have followed 8, 9, the way I have 1 to 8 to be written outside here. I brought them 9, 10, 11, 12, so that you can see them, because this is teaching, so that you can see them well. If I write 9, 10, 11, 12 outside here, it may be hiding while I'm trying to make this picture fine. So you may not see it there. That's why I wrote the 9, 10, 11, 12 outside, inside here. Should have been outside the circumference, like the others that are outside the circumference. This is what I want you to know. Remember, I have said in your work, we have today the development of the frustum of cylinder. That is what we have looked at. That is, you, after drawing the circle, you divide it into 12, then you project lines up. From those lines, you make your horizontal going to this side. That is getting to this section. Then you now draw the circumference there too. You divide it into the same number, that is 12. You take perpendiculars up. When line 1 meet line 1, you dot. When line 2 meet line 2, you dot. When line 3 meet line 3, you dot till you get to 12. Then this dotted point, you use a French curve to make it bold. You've got that development of the frustum of the cylinder. For the cone, almost the same thing. You draw the circle, you divide it to 12. Then we pick last point and last point here, we repeated it up. Then made our base. Then we got the drawing up. Then after getting the apex, using, remember, the 60 degree set square here and here. After establishing the apex, we use the radius of the apex to B. That is one of the slant side. Could be also be A to the apex to the C, but we use A to B. Then you draw a curve. That curve, you now divide into 12 because the circle was also divided into 12. And the number of the circle, then you make it bold. That's all. I use 1 cm, like I told you, for the division of that curve, the circumference now, or the curve, circumference up there. Then I divided into 12. The last point, the last thing is, the last point, you join it to the apex. That is point 12 was joined to the apex. Then you make the curve bold. This is where we'll be stopping today. I pray God will continue to keep us As you watch video, I've always told you, ask your question. Remember your your CBT that is coming this weekend will be from week 1 to 6. Please watch all your videos. Do not say I didn't have money to get my notes that were given to you. That's why I didn't copy or didn't read. I will advise you be writing them down. Follow these steps, and then you know how this. I have drawings for you. I mean, just tell you for your CBT, there are drawings, and you will answer questions with those drawings. Like you have seen this now. The last one I just did is the development of cone. This is not prison. If I ask you this job now, is it prison or parabola? Somebody may go and pick parabola. This is not parabola. Please take note of these things. It is well with us. Thank you very much. God bless you.